And what do we have here? There's our lighter.
There's heat enough in there for all the hearths in Galway. It's not that easy, lad. You can't just douse a fire like that. You need to cut off the coal and shut down the dampers. Even then, it'd be a full day before it died down. Can I help you, lad?
We need that lighter.
I wish I had a pair.
Let's grab it.
Perhaps you were never aware, Oliver, that some items carry evil within themselves.
Uh-oh.
Merely picking up that dragon lighter, for example, has caused you to fall under its fiery spell. Marilyn Wilson burned herself to death with it. Martha Ward used it to burn her house down. Even now, it is propelling you towards some unknown but no doubt searing fate. I wonder, Oliver, will you be able to take the heat?
So these are the timed puzzles I was talking about. There are several of these in the game where you only have so much time before you die. So,
you're trapped.
In this situation, as you just heard, we're trapped in the box. We gotta get out of here before we get overheated.
The patient suffers heat cramps from the loss of fluid in his muscles.
Open the box.
You can actually hear the heartbeat
needle's going up.
Start to race. His breathing getting more labored.
As the temperature rises, blood vessels near the surface of the skin dilate to increase heat loss. As the blood thickens, circulation becomes poor. The heart strains, and muscles fatigue.
Better dead than red.
The needle's in the red. You've got to get out of there. Hurry!
(105 degrees). Heat exhaustion. The body's normal chemical reactions become impaired. As oxygen to the brain is reduced, the patient becomes dizzy and his breathing becomes labored. This is the level at which brain damage becomes a possibility.
Quick, before it's too late. Do something!
It's made worse because he's telling you exactly what's going on, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. It's very creepy.
(130 degrees). More than 10 seconds at this level will cook the patient's brain and cause heat stroke. The tongue shrivels. Vision grows dim. Hearing deteriorates. Bloody cracks appear in the skin. And death follows shortly.
It's almost too late! Oh no!
I had thought you were made of sterner stuff, Oliver. Farewell.
I get chills just hearing that. So you've got everything you need to get out. You just have to figure out how to do it.
I wish I had a pair like...
We do need that lighter.
Perhaps you were never aware, Oliver, that some items carry evil within themselves. Merely picking up that dragon lighter, for example, has caused you to fall under its fiery spell. Marilyn Wilson burned herself to death with it. Martha Ward used it to burn her house down. Even now, it is propelling you towards some unknown but no doubt searing fate. I wonder, Oliver, will you be able to take the heat?
Better dead than red.
You're trapped!
So the trick there is to fool the thermometer into thinking that it's hotter than it is. And when you do that, safety activates, pops open. Yay!
Very clever, Oliver. Well done.
So now that we've got the lighter, why don't we give it back to Marilyn?
Thank you.
Don't mention it. Joshua is being held there. Can you help me find it?
I'm afraid I don't know too much about the asylum layout. I was only here a short time before I died. But the women down the hall might be able to help you, if you can get them to make sense. They're a little crazy. The key to the corridor door had a big W stamped on it. It's sure to be on your keyring, so you should be able to open it right up.
Thank you, Marilyn. Anything else to say?
Thank you.
Onward, then. Let's go deeper into the women's wing.
That key opens it right up.
Whoa. This is a fancy-looking room.
Are there bad guys here, Dad?
Nope, no bad guys.
I love you, Dad.
I love you too, Josh.
Aw.
You there. You're new. Did you bring my knitting needles?
I'm afraid not.
Well then, be off with you. The tapestries are delicate. Please do not disturb them.
Wow, this is quite the room. This looks like the size of 4 patient rooms.
I have everything else I require. I am only missing those needles.
So she wants needles, eh? These kind of look like needles.
At last. At last. You are more than a servant. You are a friend. Thank you for providing me the only implements by which my imprisonment becomes tolerable.
Why do you call him your host?
George Talbot, the Earl of Shrewsbury. This is his castle. He has been commissioned by my cousin, Queen Elizabeth, to detain me. Little does she know that he brings dishonor upon both our royal houses.
What does he do?
He tortures me. He takes me to the dungeon and uses a key with a skull pattern on it to open a small room. There he forces foul emetics and purgatives down my throat. Sometimes he bleeds me until I am dizzy and become faint.
Must be the fever.
What does he hope to gain?
He wishes me to confess to conspiracies against my dear cousin. When I refuse to do so, he opens a special casket he sometimes has with him. Inside are vials filled with poisons that give me fevers and chills.
Have you told anyone else about this?
Only Lorena, the prisoner next door. She's very difficult to talk to, but she knows more than she's willing to say. She is heavily guarded, but the key to her part of the prison has the number 26 engraved on it.
Ah.
Is there anything I can do to help?
It is all a horrible misunderstanding. My cousin thinks I plot with the King of Spain against her. If only I could write to her and send a token of my affection, she would realize how wrong she is.
This woman seems to have some kind of delusion going on.
Can't you get her a message?
To do so, I need a pen and some ink, both of which are currently denied me.
It sounds as if you have something particular in mind.
I have embroidered a special handkerchief for her. It is the finest craftsmanship, and it has the letter R worked into the corner.
And now you can't find it?
Alas, Sir George has stolen it from me. I suspect he has hidden it within his casket of poisons. But where that may be, I have no idea.
Elizabeth doesn't begin with R.
I forget you are a servant, unschooled in Latin. R is for Regina, which means queen.
I must find him before dawn.
Just as you aid me, so shall I aid you.
So I guess Sir George must be
It is
Malcolm.
made of sandalwood, imported from Spain. Seeing the world beyond only makes my captivity harder. Didn't you know? They cannot be opened. 18 years now I have slept in that bed. I hope I do not die in it. Aren't you the saucy one? But if Sir George were to find out, we would both regret it.
Keep your mind on more important
18
matters, Oliver.
It is the siege of Calais. I wove it myself. Many an hour have I sat there and done my needlework.
I can't imagine how much money must have gone into making this room. I mean, look at all this woodwork.
I must have a pen.
Why would Malcolm go to all that trouble, spend all that
It shows me
much
coming
money?
to Scotland. I had been Queen of France until my husband died. I was only 18.
This woman thinks she was
I
the
have
Queen
no
of
doubt
France.
of your loyalty. Still, there are secrets you should not know.
Oh boy.
It is handsome, isn't it? It was given to me by Lord Darnley.
I see another case. That'll hopefully tell us a little bit more about this patient. Lavinia Willoughby suffered from the delusion that she was Mary, Queen of Scots. Delusional patients generally build intricate structures to support their beliefs. They frequently believe they are a romantic figure from the past whose circumstances can be mapped against their own. This form of illness should not be confused with the much rarer multiple personality disorder, as it's known these days, DID. Ms. Willoughby's original treatment plan called for fever therapy. When that proved ineffective, she was put on a mild shock program which first took the form of metrazole injections, then finally insulin treatment. DID is dissociative identity disorder. It's not called multiple personality disorder anymore. What the general public thinks of as schizophrenia or split personality is actually a much rarer disorder called multiple personality disorder, of which only a few hundred cases have ever been authenticated. True schizophrenia, from which Ms. Willoughby suffered, is a much more common disease, striking about 3 persons per 1,000. It is the largest single cause of admission to mental hospitals. The principal symptoms of schizophrenia are delusions, hallucinations, incoherent thought processes, and a withdrawal from reality. 4 general types are recognized: disorganized, catatonic, paranoid, and undifferentiated. Again, most of that's accurate. Several types of delusional disorders are recognized. Ms. Willoughby suffered from 2 of them: grandiose type, in which the patient identifies with a deity or a famous person, and persecutory type, where the patient believes she is being malevolently treated in some way. The delusional systems are quite adaptable, and when confronted with evidence that contradicts their beliefs, patients generally find a way to twist that evidence to support the worldview they have built for themselves. Apart from the impact of the delusion itself, the patient's functioning is usually not impaired, nor does her behavior become obviously odd or bizarre. Multiple personality disorder is an extremely rare condition in which 2 or more independent personalities develop in the same individual. The patient is generally aware of only one of these personalities at a time. This was not the case with Ms. Willoughby. She consistently believed she was Mary Queen of Scots from day to day and did not lapse into her original or other identities. Treatment for the condition is generally aimed at reintegrating the personalities into one, usually by encouraging the dominant personality to recognize the existence of the others and by removing the underlying cause of the original dissociation. Mary Queen of Scots was one of the most romantic figures in history. She was crowned Queen of Scotland before her first birthday. At age 15, she married the King of France, but returned to Scotland after he died 2 years later. Many viewed her as the rightful Queen of England instead of Elizabeth I, and it was the many schemes and plots to place her on England's throne that eventually led to her execution. For the last 18 years of her life, she lived as Elizabeth's prisoner in a series of castles. It was hardly a life of privation. She had 50 retainers in her household, and she was more like a houseguest of her jailer, George Talbot, the 6th Earl of Shrewsbury. It was only with great reluctance that Elizabeth eventually succumbed to political pressure and ordered her cousin to be beheaded. The order was carried out in the Great Hall at Fotheringhay Castle. Mary was only 44. True story, the whole thing of Mary Queen of Scots is actually what inspired the nursery rhyme, Mary Mary, quite contrary.
Ms. Willoughby was an accomplished seamstress, embroiderer, and weaver, as witnessed by the beautiful tapestries around the wall and the exquisite handkerchief you see here.
Looks like Malcolm again took the item.
This is the room of Lavinia Willoughby, whom the staff called Vi. She was severely delusional and believed she was Mary Queen of Scots. Her family indulged her in this delusion and paid for the special furnishings you see here.
Oh, the family paid for it. Now, why would they do that? I guess, again, just to kind of keep her locked up in here because they're embarrassed.
That is where my handkerchief belongs.
Families can be so cruel to people with mental disorders.
I don't believe we've been introduced.
Such impertinence in a servant. I shall have Sir George reprimand you.
Who's he?
He is my host, if you can call it that.
What would you do with them?
A servant does not question the commands of a queen. Fetch them, please. You are dismissed.
Nothing else to talk about. I gave her the needles, so she let me talk to her. So that's taken care of. Maybe we'll go see this new patient she was talking about. Right here. No. Let's get... Ugh, come on. Ugh, didn't mean to go in here. wait, now that I think of it, I think I need to do something this way.
That key
Yeah.
opens it right up.
I got turned around somehow. I don't know what happened there. This is the hallway I wanted to get to.